Tired.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm tired too. It's like super late right now. Well, no, it's not late.
It's not really that late.
It's like 11.
It's like 11.
But I don't know. I am tired.
Yeah. Had a long day. Just got done recording one of Zach's podcasts, the Cripple Couch Talk, and we just kept the setup and we're recording our own.
So how was your trip from Spain? The last time we recorded, you were literally about to take off.
Yeah, it was great as far as like everything for Zach goes. For me, it was kind of terrible. They just, long story short, they forgot Zach's ticket in Miami to Madrid. So we almost didn't get on that plane. Then we get to Spain. They lost my luggage. So I was like overseas with no luggage, no deodorant, no toothpaste, no nothing. All I had was my camera, laptop. And really that's all I need. But yeah, one of the producers of the show ended up getting me some clothes, which he guessed like my size, which was like pretty awesome. And he got me a pair of pants, a couple pairs, like 2 pairs of boxers, some socks, a couple little things. So it was that ended up being pretty cool. I was really excited. Or not excited. I was surprised, just mostly because like people don't surprise me with things. Like so it was like really cool to get that. But overall, it was really great. Zach, shot from like 93,000 to like 111 like overnight.
Damn.
Yeah, it was huge, and we already got offers to go back to Spain. He might be going back this 14th, 13th to the 16th or something like that.
Yeah.
I'm not going because we're going to be going to the Grand Canyon. Like on a week-long trip. So, yeah. And then coming back, we ended up having to get a rental car because they canceled all the flights in Dallas. It was a nightmare. It was a bunch of just bad stuff. And then I had a hurt ankle for like 2 days.
Yeah.
What would you say? Somebody gave me ojo?
Yeah, I was telling him, I think alguien ¿cómo se dice? ¿Te dio ojo? Or something like that. Some bad juju.
They gave me bad juju.
People were hating. And they were like, but... It's fine. Like you were saying earlier today that, you'd rather be stuck in an airplane for hours and lose your luggage than being stuck in an office. Yeah,
I'd much rather do that than work a regular 9-to-5 job. I mean, I don't know, it's a crazy life, but at the same time, like this is the life that I chose. So I'm just going to keep living it.
No hate on those that do work 9-to-5 though.
Yeah. Like I said, it's like the life that I chose, it's...
Yeah,
you're dangerous. You're afraid. I'm afraid. Every once in a while, I get afraid of like what the hell's gonna happen next, and I don't know. It's just crazy.
Welcome back to the podcast / YouTube channel, and welcome for those that's like the first time here. This is my husband Tom. I'm Cristal. This is World of Cristal Podcast. I guess we haven't really thought of a name, but I might just leave it like that.
Still ain't got no name.
Might leave. I mean, I'm thinking about posting like every Friday, and I was thinking, what if I name it like TGIF, like thank God it's Friday, and then like I don't know. That was just a thought.
I guarantee that's already taken. I mean,
maybe not the name. But like make it like a thing. I don't know.
Yeah. Go for it. I mean, I'm all for that.
I'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Figure it out as you go.
All right. So I was just gonna ask you. Like, what is, I guess, one of your biggest fears?
Mine?
Yes.
I don't know. There's a lot of things I used to be afraid of, but now I'm not necessarily afraid of it just because of the way that I handle things. My worst fear would have been losing my luggage in another country. But it didn't affect me in any way. Like I was just like, oh, that sucks. Let's go about our business because we were there to do one thing. Yeah. But really, I guess the path that I chose really led me to like not be afraid because then you have to like adjust and see it as like opportunity and stuff. Not necessarily opportunity, but you have to like you got to psych yourself out of it.
Yeah,
and it's hard. It took me a long time to not be afraid. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong. Like monetary stuff, I'm afraid of. Losing contracts and stuff like that. I'm afraid of that. Like not having any money coming in. But in the back of my head, I'm just like, that just means I'm going to do something else.
Yeah, I mean, just leave it up to God, and that's it. What about like little kid type of stuff, like Afraid of the Dark? kukui or something under your
I'm
bed. I don't know.
I'm still a little afraid of the dark. I think I just.
Actually, yeah, because so our closet door or whatever, he needs to have it closed. Like, if I leave it open and we're laying down, he'll get up and close it.
Yeah,
because he's scared.
It's not necessarily that I'm in this case, like with the door. It's not necessarily that I'm afraid of the dark behind it. I'm just afraid that like my brother or sister is gonna pop out and scare me like they used to when I was a kid. I was traumatized. Yeah, they used to do it all the time. I was the baby, so they would just scare the shit out of me all the time. Like they'd make me watch Freddy Krueger, and then they would they would hide at the end of the hallway. So our hallway, whenever I was growing up, was an L. So they'd be at the other end. Like there was 3 sisters and 1 brother, and one sister would be like, "All right, Tommy, time to go to bed." And I'd like walk into the hallway. They'd shut off the light, and then whenever I get to the end where the L is, my brother or sister would like pop out and scare the shit out of me, and I'd be like, "Oh my god!" And
they're bullies. You're a little baby.
Yeah, I was so easily scared, and I think it kind of stuck with me. Like I don't like open doors at night.
Well, I promise you, your siblings aren't here hiding.
Yeah,
trying to scare you. No, I used to like. So the same thing in hallway. And my parents would be like, "Oh, can you go get a blanket for me?" For us, and from their room, and I'm like, no, because the lights were all off, so they'll be watching a movie in the living room.
Yeah.
And so what I would do, I don't know why, I would grab a pillow from like the living room, put it in my face, and cover my face, and run really fast in the dark.
Did you ever run into the wall at all, or no?
No, because it was just like straight in the lights right there. But like I had to cover my face, even though it gets darker. But I guess you can't.
Yeah,
you can't
see
something or make something up, because I know you make stuff up in your head.
Yeah,
sometimes I do it here too. No lie, like one time, for some reason, on my head I'm like, oh, I think I was walking into the restroom or I think into the shower, and since all the lights were off, I don't know, I scared myself. In my head I'm like, oh, what if something like popped up or something? I don't know, and so I just like turn the light on, really quick. But in my head, I'm like, why did I just do that to myself?
I do that coming upstairs. I grew up in a 1-story house, and so like it gets really dark. We turn off all the lights on the first floor, and then like Crystal's usually up first, and so like I'm at the bottom, and like if I turn the light off, or if the light is off and I have to go upstairs, I'm running. Like I'm running, and it's not because I'm like afraid anything's there. It's just, I don't know, just like
the back of your head.
The back of your head, like what if? And that's just
even though it's never like
there's never anything.
Yeah, it's not like the house is haunted or anything.
Yeah.
So that's that. I used to be scared of planes, but not in the plane. But I used to always think that like if I heard a loud plane like go over the house,
it was a problem.
I always thought that it was like probably gonna fall on my house and I was gonna die like that. Like that was always in my head. And even like and then later on I found out that my sister was the same way. Like one time I was in my room, she was in her room, and then we heard like a loud, like a super loud plane. Like it was scary. It sounded like it was falling or something.
Yeah.
And then I come out of the door because I have to go outside and go see where it's at, And my sister came out of the door too, and she's like, "Oh my god, what's happening?" And we were both freaking out, like each other out too. So we like ran outside, looked up, and the plane is like so far away.
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Oh, okay."
I feel like that was such an irrational fear though. Like whenever we had first got together, you were like really afraid of it. Like you would go outside for stuff like that. Now you don't, but
well. Also, so one time me and Tom were hanging out on the roof of my parents' house, looking at the stars or whatever. And that's when I saw that the airplanes there never, ever went over my house. They always went like around in like a squared kind of like, like that. And then from then on, I was like, okay, if I hear anything, like I'm going to be fine. So from then on, I was like, okay. And now we live in this house. We live by the airport.
Yeah.
And so there's planes passing by every single day, but you don't hear them. They're not like.
Well, I think because they're getting close to landing. Whenever they're up there a little bit, they're going a lot faster. Whenever they get close to landing, they do make a lot of noise too when they're landing. I don't know.
Yeah, but I'm saying though, like I don't know. I'm sure you've heard them by my house. I don't know, but there've been times where it's like
they get loud. It's because it's close to the airport too. Like it's in the same like pathway.
I don't know, but and the ones here actually do go over the house, but
no, they don't go over the house. They're always like over there on that side, like on the left.
I'm sure there's some that come on this side. I don't know, but I mean, I think I'm over it, so I'm okay. But now I am kind of scared of flying inside, like in the plane.
Why?
I don't know.
I used to be so afraid of that. Like
I know.
it's just because it was like anxiety though. Like I would get anxiety and then my brain would go crazy and then I would think like, oh, I'm gonna die from anxiety and the plane's gonna crash and I'm gonna double die. Like it's stupid
double
stuff.
die. Oh no! Like it's funny because that's true. Like I know you were afraid at the beginning.
Very.
And then I was like, nah, this is cool. But then I think after that super bad turbulence, whenever it like fucked it up for me.
No, if anything, it made me feel reassured that the planes are safe.
Yeah, that's true. Like so,
it
like
was
no,
bad.
like no matter how, like I was jumping off my seat, like
my big ass was like bloop.
Jumping off the seat.
I was getting out of that seat. The turbulence was really bad.
We were holding each other's hands. We were sweating.
Yeah,
we
we're
were
sitting there praying. Yeah.
The whole plane was quiet. Like everybody was freaking out.
I think the worst part was that the pilot didn't say anything. The stewardess didn't say anything. Like they were fine. Like they were sitting there.
I'm assuming that's normal.
But they didn't say a word. Like they could have been like, "Hey, we're experiencing a little bit of turbulence. We'll get through it in 5 minutes." No, like,
and it felt like forever.
Yeah, it was like 15 minutes. And what it is, because like I started thinking about it, we turned around and around. We were flying to New York for a trip, and I think the winds were way too bad, and we circled LaGuardia like 3 times because they said we were going to land soon, and it was like, oh, we're going to land in 10. No, because I remember because I was scared of shit. Said we were going to land in 10 minutes. That 10 minutes turned into like 15 or 20 minutes, and what felt like even longer though. Like, but in reality, it was like 15, 20 minutes. But the plane was just like shaking. Everybody got quiet. Like it was scary. Like it was legit, like really scary.
Wasn't like a girl stuck in the restroom?
Yeah.
The whole time?
Yeah, because we were close to the back.
Yeah.
And whenever the plane landed, I turned around and I saw like the stewardess open the door for the girl, and she came out crying. Like I felt so bad for her. Yeah. I mean, I would honestly feel safer in there because there's not much room to fly around.
Yeah, but there's no seatbelt there. You just sitting on the toilet.
I don't know, but yeah, that one. That was the worst turbulence I've ever felt, and I've been on a lot of flights. So
yeah, me too. But that's the thing, like I've
and
been
it's
on
always
so
to
many,
New York,
and I'm still like, no. Usually, like Vegas is usually windy, and I guess New York too.
I haven't really had bad turbulence going to Vegas. So we've been a lot.
I have.
Yeah.
I mean, we've been in the same plane.
When did you fly by yourself?
I have flown by myself to Vegas, at least 2-3 times when we had different flights.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I wanted to talk about like, because I was thinking like, oh, what's it like to live alone, but I've never really lived alone. Mm-hmm. I've only like obviously lived either with my parents or with you, but even that's like a huge difference. Yeah. But you did live by yourself for like what, a month or something?
Something like that. Yeah, it was
before
weird.
we got married.
Yeah, it was weird.
Like January up to like half.
Yeah, so her parents were really strict, and they didn't want us to move in together until we got married. So I ended up getting an apartment, the one that we were going to move into as soon as we got married. And I was there for about like close to a month by myself. But you were over there all the time. Like you would come over, we'd like chill, and you'd leave like at midnight though. So it was there wasn't much time that I had by myself. But yeah, like waking up by yourself, doing all that stuff, it's kind of weird. I don't know. But now, like, I could totally live by myself just because, like, I know how to cook more. I know how to do all these things. Yeah. I don't mind cleaning. I know how to wash my clothes. I know how to handle myself. So I'm not like, ooh.
I mean, like, with me, it's like, whenever you're gone, I'm by myself. Like, it's kind of nice. Like, the first, like, one day, just, like, I can watch whatever I want. Because, like, when it comes to shows, it's like, oh, I want to watch this, but no, I want to watch this. And it's like something we want to watch together, or no, I'll watch that later, or, stuff like that.
Because you want to watch all those girly shows.
Exactly. So whenever you're not there, I watch those.
Yeah.
It's like
Keeping up with the Kardashians and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I don't want to watch that.
I know you don't.
So it's frustrating.
I'll watch that. I mean, when you were gone, I was watching Grey's Anatomy. Like, I watched, I haven't watched it since you came back.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, you did. You were watching it like the other day.
Just like an episode, and
like
then
2 or 3.
because you were doing something else, and then you came into the room, and then what? I stopped watching it. But yeah, but I don't think I could do it for too long. I think maybe 2 days max, and then I'm like, oh, I need my man.
Yeah. No, yeah, it's
but
weird.
Sleeping alone, yeah, it was kind of weird. Like the first night, I had to play music, and I was just listening to music, and then I fell asleep. The second night, I think I got drunk or something like that.
Yeah.
And watching Grey's Anatomy, so I fell asleep watching what Grace was playing on the TV. And also because like whenever we're sleeping together at night, he usually sleeps with the TV on or something playing.
Not the TV, just my phone.
Yeah, for a while it was a TV, but then like I'll tell you to turn it off, and then he'll watch stuff on his phone.
Yeah.
But I guess I also
have a really bad problem with sleeping.
So now I kind of got used to having something playing in the background.
Yeah.
And one thing you don't know about moving out into your own place is that you don't know
like what you need
until you need it.
Yeah.
Like for example, a plunger.
Yeah.
Like whenever you move out, you don't think about that. Of course, toilet paper, napkins.
Which is toilet paper is expensive.
Oh my God, yes. We just bought some today. It was like $10 for like a little pack.
Yeah.
And then we go through that thing. We go through it so fast. So like buying groceries, it is so expensive. Like
it sucks.
Because I've seen like stuff on Twitter or Reddit where it's like, oh, yeah, this is gonna be my fridge whenever I move out, and it's like a fridge filled with drinks, sodas, juices, like just snacks, like the pantry filled with chips, cookies, and all that. And I'm just like, no, like that's expensive, and that's just snacks. That's not even like actual vegetables and meats.
Well, I mean, if you want to eat like good meals, like not necessarily like even being on a diet or anything, but if you want to eat good meals, you got to cook them yourself. Like, because I hate frozen foods, and I think this as Mexicans, we don't like frozen foods just because we were raised like with home fresh like foods all the time. So it's different. I feel like that's a different culture thing, and our culture is cooking, and so we love to have our fridge like stocked with like vegetables and stuff like that, which always go bad. There's bad sweet potatoes right now in the fridge.
Yeah, that's another thing. Like sometimes when we first
you overbuy.
When we first got our place together, it's like we either bought too much food or not enough.
Yeah, and then we got to go back, and it's so annoying having to go back for like one ingredient.
Yeah, and a lot of times I'm like, now I kind of think about it. I'm like, okay, for this, I want to cook this with this one day, but I'm like, you know what? The one day I'm gonna wait till that day to buy those ingredients because I know it will just go bad. Because we've wasted a lot of food and money like that.
Yeah.
And like usually like, oh, I love fruits. Like right now I literally have a big old thing of grapes and a big old thing of cherries, and they've been sitting there for like a week now, and they're starting to go bad. And I, when I bought them, I was like, hell yeah, I'm gonna eat those every day, all day, and I haven't.
I mean, you just
I go through phases because some days I'm like, I'll eat them all in like a day, and then other times it just sits there.
Yeah, definitely. Like moving out really teaches you a lot. Not like a lot about yourself too. Like you start learning a lot about yourself. I think whenever we first were speaking of getting married, like I wanted to have you move in just because we can know each other, like all that stuff. I wanted to like get our own place and stuff like that, so we can figure each other out and all that, because we didn't really. I felt like we knew each other because it was like getting close to like 5 years of dating, but we never lived together, And so moving in, like we learned even more though. Like we got closer together after moving in together.
Because I know people are like, oh, I wouldn't like. I saw it on Twitter too. This thing, people were arguing back and forth about, oh, you should live with your partner before you marry them, or some people are like, no, like.
I think
I'm not going to move in until after I'm married.
I think for a majority of people, they should definitely do it just because of the way that people's minds work.
Well, yes and no, but it's like you said, like, yeah, we did it for 5 years, but let's say we did it for 5 years, got engaged, and then happened to move in, and you didn't like one thing about me and that I do at home. Are you going to just like cut it off?
No.
Because I'm saying, like, I feel like, I don't know.
I'm telling you, like, it's the way that we handle things, like we talk it out and stuff like that. That is super rare. Like that, nobody does that. I think we really got honest with ourselves and each other and said like, hey, like this bothers me. Like, what are we going to do about this? And we talk about it. That's never that doesn't happen with anybody.
Well, don't say that. Not anybody. But
well, yeah, it's not common. It's not common that people do that, and it's odd to me that people don't do it that way, because I mean I grew up seeing my family argue, my sisters argue with their boyfriends and all that stuff, and I was like I don't want that. I don't want to feel like it's a waste of time. It's a waste of time and energy to be mad at something.
Yeah.
I don't know. But yeah, I mean that's why I say like I still, even though I'm married and we waited till marriage to like move in together, I still say like people should definitely do that, because they're not honest with themselves, and they don't want to like they're afraid to share their insecurities, and then people find out more insecurities like whenever they move into each other, move in with each other. And because I've seen it, like I'm not going to name names, but I've seen people that they move in and they either get comfortable and just never like actually move the relationship forward, or two, they hate each other and they're like you leave clothes on the floor. Like, is that really a big deal? You know?
Yes,
not like it's not like a huge deal to where like you need to argue every day about it, but yeah.
I mean, pick up your clothes, people.
Yeah, no, I pick up my clothes. I still leave like some on the floor, and then she'll tell me, and I'll put it away. It's just, I learned to agree. Just with like stuff like that, though. Like
no, it's just it's literally the only thing, probably.
Yeah. I mean, you'll be surprised like how many little arguments you can get into every single day. Like whenever you first move in with each other, like there's little things. Like I get not mad, but it bothers me, and I've told you about this before, and we kind of like work around it, but like whenever you leave lights on or whenever you like do stuff like that.
That's always been the thing though, because my dad used to get mad at me too.
Yeah.
Like, paga la luz.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I got to pay the bills now. Like I got to pay that electricity bill.
Yeah, because my parents would be like, oh, cierra la puerta, se me vuela el dinero, whatever,
I mean, that's that's another thing you figure out whenever you
your
move
bills.
out.
Now you know why your dad leaves it on 75.
Yeah, nah,
Mexicans. I think that's a Mexican
insane.
family thing, to be honest. Because even Paulo was telling me that his parents sometimes don't even turn on the AC.
That's nuts to me. I'm never gonna do that.
And some people, I mean, like I think my parents. I remember they used to leave it at 75 when I'm over there. I mean, but I got used to it, or maybe the house never got that hot. For me, at least.
Well, y'all did like board up the windows. Like your parents boarded up the windows and stuff like that, so there was no sunlight coming in. And then y'all have tile throughout the whole house. So like,
the house, like
that helps.
They didn't need it, I guess. But I mean, there is times where I'll be like, "Ooh, my dad is hot. Turn it on. Turn it up." There
was like a brief stint where whenever we came back from off the road, we were staying with her parents just before like we got our own place. And there was sometimes where I'm like, man, like I wanted to text your dad and be like, come on, dude, put it on 70.
You're like, I'll pay you half the
bill. I'll pay for this damn bill. I have to.
Yeah, there was times that
anything above 70 is like, ugh, that's terrible. That's why I just want to move to. I want to move to Spain where the weather's beautiful all the time. Either that or like Oregon.
Yeah,
Oregon.
They don't even have AC.
They don't even have AC. They just got heaters in their house, man. Like that's insane to me.
Mm-hmm. That's really cool. I think that's one place I would move to, Oregon, for sure. The weather's beautiful, the landscapes, whatever.
Yeah,
like
they
mountains, rivers.
Yeah, everything.
Beach. They have ocean if you want. Yeah. Right.
Yeah. I mean, the ocean's super duper cold up there, but I mean, like you can still surf with like a wetsuit.
I'm like, who gets in the ocean anyway? Like people just go.
I want to.
I don't know.
I love getting in the water.
I mean, the beach, I don't know. I'm scared. Yeah. But the water isn't even clear there, is it? I don't remember.
Yeah, it's clear up there.
I thought it was just like dark.
No, it's clear. It's like a dark blue, but like there's some parts.
Like it's not dirty, but it's just dark.
It's dark blue
because it's really cold.
Because it's deep. It's deep. It's deep immediately. Like you go off like 5-10 feet and you're like in like 8 feet of water.
No,
it's cool though. Like it's really cool. I like it. I've never been in the waters up in Portland, but I've seen it. And then like remember whenever we were driving up north to go to Portland from San Francisco. We went to PCH, and so we drove across the Pacific Coast Highway. So we were driving along the whole entire end of the United States, the West Coast. So we were seeing the beach the whole time we were driving on the left side,
pretty.
And then woods on the right, and that was beautiful.
We're gonna go do that again.
Yeah. It's I don't know. It's moving out is. It's so like daunting though. Like that was honestly that like going back to the fear stuff. That was one thing that I was afraid of is like moving out. Just because like I was afraid I was gonna miss my mom more, and I sometimes feel bad that I don't. I like over the years I want to say like whenever I really like look deep down inside of myself, I'm getting closer and closer to you, and like we're becoming more of a unit. And it's not that you're replacing my mom. It's just that there's things that you're replacing slowly as far as like the needs and the wants. And so I can survive without seeing my mom for a couple of days. I can't survive without texting her or talking to her for a couple of days.
I'm doing a good job. I don't know.
No, but at first it was hard. Like I'd have to talk to my mom all the time, and
I did too.
Yeah, like you still do. You talk to your parents all the time. I do too, but not as often.
I was gonna say not as often, but like I was excited obviously because it's like I can't wait to obviously move in with the love of my life and do whatever we want, whenever we want, have people over, drink, party, whatever. And so that was cool.
Yeah.
And then not having a curfew, because I had a curfew. And
up until the day we were married,
literally
had a curfew.
Day on my wedding, I have to go home at midnight while the wedding's still going.
No, the day before, your mom was telling you better go to that room because you had a hotel room, and your mom was telling you like you need to go to that room after this and blah blah blah. Like, how old were you? Like 23, 24?
I was 22.
Oh yeah, whatever.
No, but yeah. So I was excited, like I couldn't wait. Because the fact that, and then after when we moved in together, it was so weird because like I could stay out all night and not have to like, my mom's calling me. And even then though, like after we moved out, my mom was still like, you better go, don't stay out too late.
Yeah, don't stay out too late. Anything bad that happens late at night.
Yeah.
Like that man, whatever.
But I think that was pretty funny. But yeah, I mean, like I did miss. It didn't hit me though, like because right after our wedding we went on our honeymoon, so it was like a week vacation together, which was to me it was like, oh, like we were on vacation. But then once I got back, I was like literally moving the stuff out of my room into the new place. That's whenever it hit me. I was putting my clothes up and I started crying. I was like, and Tom didn't know that until like I think I told him after or whatever.
Later, yeah.
But I was just like trying to hide my tears because I didn't want him to see me cry, and I was just crying and crying. I was like, oh, my mom, my dad, but I got over it, obviously.
Yeah, no, and it's I don't think that it's because we don't miss them and that we don't. It's not that we don't miss our parents. It's just that life encompasses us, and we're responsible for a lot of things, and we slowly. Yeah. And I really think this, but I think we slowly become our parents, and we like in figuring out the bills, and like me saying like you better turn off the light, like things like that. Like we slowly become our parents just because they impacted us so much, and we're not aware of it until later when we have those same responsibilities and we have to react in the same way, or we kind of react in the same way. Mm-hmm. I mean, sometimes I'm conscious of it, and I have to stop myself from like getting angry or something like that. So I don't know, we become our parents, and I think that's part of the reason why we kind of separate from them. Not really separate, but just separate enough to that we're not like, I gotta call my mom today. Tomorrow I missed a call yesterday. I gotta call her.
Yeah, I used to call my mom every single day. Yeah. I had it scheduled to where like I would call her on my way home from work. So that drive, even if it's a 15-minute, 30-minute, hour drive, like that's whenever I would talk to my mom.
I would too.
And I miss that though, because now since I don't work, like I don't have to go somewhere to work. So my mom would be like, hey, did you forget you have a mom or what? I'm like, well, did you forget you have a daughter?
Yeah. Phones work two ways, parents.
I know, but I guess it's like, because she got used to me calling her all the time. Yeah. So I need to at least text her once a day, because I used to somehow have to either text her or call her or something. But now I feel like if I talk to my sister or my dad for some reason that day, I feel like I talked to all of them already. Yeah. I don't know if that makes sense. Like I feel like
I don't even talk to my siblings that often. I mean, I do now just because like my sister like needs help because she lost vision in one eye, and she has a child with special needs, and so we help her out whenever we can, like taking her to the doctor and stuff. Which, by the way, I got to take her tomorrow at 11. I got to be there at 11:30.
I thought it was at
the house. 11:30 at the house.
So you told her, yeah?
Yeah, I told her, yeah. Okay. But I see my sister a lot, which is cool because now I'm seeing my nieces a lot, and
your nephew, your parents.
Yeah, there was a while whenever I didn't see my nieces at all because like. They had separated. My sister and her husband separated, and so the nieces were here and there, and I never saw them. So now I feel like it's my chance to kind of get back into their lives, and I love them to death. Like I love how close Ali is, like seemingly getting to me, and I hope she's not watching this because I don't want to admit that. But it's so cool, like because now I'm an uncle.
She feels comfortable.
Yeah, she feels really comfortable talking.
Obviously, a lot.
Yeah, she loves talking to you and me. Like we have fun. Like it's cool. And
I can't. Like that's one thing that I'm looking forward to on the trip, to spend more time with them. Yeah. In the car, obviously.
Yeah. Oh, so yeah, the Grand Canyon trip we're doing it with my mom, my dad, my oldest sister,
and the kids.
And they're gonna be in another car, and then it's gonna be Cristal, me, and then my two nieces in the back. Because my other sister was supposed to go, but she ended up having to be at work, so she couldn't go. So it's going to be, I don't know, it's going to be fun. A Grand Canyon trip with family. I haven't traveled with family in so long.
Yeah. I'm going to try to vlog it, but I don't know. Because I always say that and I either don't do it or I do it and don't post it.
I have so much GoPro footage and drone footage.
I know. I just started.
That's just like sitting there.
Me too. That's why
I'd rather have it than not, you know?
Yeah, because you can either way. You can always look back at. You don't have to post everything, but you can obviously go back and see it.
I mean, speaking of like, you just put out this vlog. A lot of people are going to think we just went there, but this was like almost a year ago now. But
it was
still,
literally a year ago.
Yeah, and you did such a good job on it. Like I'm legit. Like I'm super proud of you. Like you,
I did it all by myself.
She did all the editing. Like I helped her with like fixing some sound and just like some tips on like the editing stuff, but nothing story wise, anything like that. And it looks good.
I'm learning.
Yeah, no, I like it, and you just got to keep doing that. Eventually, you're going to be editing these podcasts. So
yeah, I mean,
it's not hard now that we're doing this like track recording. By the way, shout out to the Cripple Couch Talk for letting us borrow all their equipment. Yeah, like the headphones. You see, we got headphones on. There's a soundboard now. We're slowly becoming a real studio.
Yeah.
Now we're recording directly. Yeah, we're recording directly to a laptop instead of a audio recording device. Then putting it into a laptop and then having to edit the audio and do all that. Now everything's just straight recorded. It's gonna be fun. Like I think the next couple months is gonna be nuts. Just because of like how much Zach stuff is blowing up. We're putting out stuff now. Like who knows where this goes. So let's see what happens. Thanks for watching, listening. You can check out the past episodes on now iTunes. She got us on iTunes. That's pretty cool.
iTunes
You got you on iTunes. Yeah. I'm just here. I'm just a second guest.
So Spotify, iTunes, Google, Anchor, YouTube. I think that's it.
Facebook. You should definitely post them on Facebook now.
Like the whole thing.
Yeah, the whole thing. That ad revenue. We need to get that ad revenue.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, you can if you're into camera stuff, photo, video, filmmaking, anything like that, you can check me out on Everything But the Camera or at Camera Rigs as well. And you
can follow me on everything, literally everything at World of Cristal. That's Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Spotify, iTunes. I mean, Snapchat.
Oh, yeah, I forgot that I have a podcast, too. It's Everything But the Camera. That's on Spotify, iTunes. That's on everything else as well. I'm going to start posting again. It's been like 3-4 months since I posted on it. But, yeah, definitely if you want tips and tricks or just bullshit, check it out. Okay, bye.
Bye.